My name is Shina David and I welcome you to the science of corruption. So in my previous video, I've been able to explain why and how the judiciary lacks adequate independence or autonomy. So if you want to watch that, check part 29 on the science of corruption. All right. So today I want to draw your attention to a very important issue. This is so crucial, but you need to pay attention to details, else you will not understand how these things work. So let's do an illustration. Let's do it practical per se. So let's assume this is a precedent. Let's not forget that research and data and theories have proven that the individual is selfish. The likes of game theory and the rest, that the individual is selfish. So this is a precedent that can be good and is also selfish. You understand? Now you know that the selfish nature of man is over 80% if you want to rate it in percentage. Now the good side is very small. That is why most of the times you're seeing only the selfish and corrupt side of the individual. So this is an individual who has become our president. Him being a president don't mean that he is no longer corrupt or doesn't have those corrupt tendencies in him. Okay, so regardless of the fact that this guy is corrupt, the Constitution now provides independence for this office by saying, Oga, before you get to office, before you elect a president, vote this guy into office. Now, they say for this guy to also be comfortable and not be afraid of anyone or protect himself from undue manipulation and influence from outside, coming from maybe a small faction of these people that will say we are the godfathers, we are the cartel. It is us that put you in office, so do our own bidding. Forget the interests of these people. You understand? The Constitution tries to protect the president from this undue or unlawful influence. Don't think that the Constitution is trying to say there won't or there shouldn't be influence between these guys and these guys. The general public is supposed to influence this guy, who is the president. But it must be lawfully. It must be that kind of influence that we all agree upon, that we influence the president to do for the general public. This one, these people influencing these ones, no, this is the one the Constitution is cutting out. So by the time I talk about trying to reduce unlawful influence, most of now we don't get sense. Go begin to tell me, say, there is no way you can eliminate influence from the system of governance. The influence the Constitution is trying to eliminate or prevent is the unlawful and undue influence. All right, so let's move ahead. Now, for the lawmaker to get into office, the Constitution says vote for this guy, so that again, same reason, same approach, same system. Small people or a group now will say, now put you for here, do our mind, or else come back second term. All those talk, Constitution don't want them to happen, because this individual, we already know that he's also selfish and he's always trying to protect his interests. So anyone will go on the way be say, if he no do the mind of these small people, we go come make a no come back second term. He go come forget these people. He go come do these people mind. Come do protect their interest. So the Constitution is trying to block this influence coming from a small group, but the influence coming from here and here, the Constitution even spells out how you can influence the lawmakers. That is why we carry bills to the legislative house, so that they can deliberate on it and pass it. Official and generally acceptable means and patterns for we to influence these people. Don't forget, this one too is a selfish person. In fact, he's more selfish than he's selfless. All right, but the Constitution, regardless, provides independent for him by saying get into office by voting. Now let's go to the judicial officer. This is a chief justice. This fool, this thief, this human being is also corrupt, and he's also selfless. So this guy has the capability to be selfish and to be selfless, but research has also proven that this guy is always about his own interest. He's more selfish than he's selfless, on the 80-20 percentage, or you could say 9 times out of 10, 10%. But again, the Constitution tries to provide independence for this guy. Even though these guys are selfish, they try to provide independence for them, some level of autonomy, to protect them from unlawful influence coming from a minority of the people. such that they can boldly say no to these people and say, we are here for the majority. You understand? So by the time they are talking, and because you know too little, you begin to say, hey, there must be influence. My brother even said that if it was within his powers, that president alone that would appoint judge, legislature and NJC hand no go even be inside. And anytime we president want fire judge, go fire him, because you need to know what is happening in the system. It's you that is managing the system. Okay, so let's continue. These guys are all selfish, but the constitution, regardless, tries to provide adequate independence and autonomy for them. But for the judiciary, like in the last video, I pointed out why at the end of the day, these people, they have more power. Assuming this is kilos of independence, like I said, and the reasons that I gave, this is 3-3 or 5-5. Okay, this is 3-3 kilos of independent, and okay, the executive, let's say 5, because then they have immunity join. These people, the judiciary, they have only 2. The Senate, they have 4 kilos of autonomy or independent. And the other video I explained why this is so, and the next video I'll point out the areas of the constitution that has allowed this disproportionate sharing of powers or function between these 3 co-equal arms of government. You understand? These people are supposed to be equal in strength and in function. These are fundamental democratic in principles. So anything that you do that you get it wrong, you're messing up. All right? So I hope now you understand what is happening here. I say all of this to explain that when they ask you that why is the judiciary underperforming, you now rush to go and say it is because these individuals are corrupt. It is true. This one too are corrupt. This one too, they are corrupt. What is the other standard? Because they were corrupt, but independence was provided. You understand? So you will now say that, okay, the other thing that could cause them to be underperforming is the fact that maybe then they get small independence or autonomy. They don't know reach the legislature and the executive on. You understand? So maybe that is why they are being unable to effectively checkmate the excesses of the executive and the legislature. This is why you see just 2 kilos of power here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because these ones they have immunity. You understand? So, like I always said, since we cannot discuss the selfish nature of these people, you understand? We now begin to focus on this other basis, how much independence they get or autonomy they get. All right. So in the next video, we'll now explain what or how important the level of autonomy or independence they have that can cause them to function more effectively.